Right here I'm balling with the Ostas 5-0 blades. And these guards are for when you ball with the Andes T outliners, it's hard to get rid of that line. So with the Ostas, they got the 5-0 guards, the detachables. It makes it easier to get rid of that line. But as you can see, they cut pretty good, real fast, real quick. By the way, I'm at Cold Cutters College out on Scenic, Snellville, Georgia. But I love these clippers as far as making that ball line on the ball fade, and even on a temp fade, it works great. I got these off Amazon, but they're real quick. And as you go on, as you get better, that line that you try to make with the T outline is the perfect line that you try to make. You'll get better. At first, it'll be a little challenge of trying to get that line straight, but you get better as you go. Right here, I got the Ostas fast feeds with the ceramic blade, the white blade that you can get off Amazon. And the Ostas fast feeds, they have a skinny blade, and with the ceramic blade, they cut pretty good. I just had bought me some Masters, the blackout editions, and I think I'm gonna change the blade out to the skinnier blade. I like the skinnier blade. As a barber, it's whatever you prefer. And as you can see, they cutting pretty good. And that's the fast feeds with the guard open. That first line, as you can see, I set my ball line. That's open. Cleaning it up, making sure all the space is even. That's how you get a clean fade. You go back, you make sure that you cleaning it up real good. I just put my guard on, my one guard on, and I'm going up maybe an inch or so, a little bit higher towards the back, but on the side it's definitely an inch. But as I go up towards the back, I'm going up just a little bit more. Like I said, just going back to make sure it's clean. That's how you get a clean fade. You got to make sure that everything is even. And then you can see the levels. You see the ball level, and then the open, and then the one guard on, which I'm making right now. And with that ceramic blade on it, it cleaned it pretty good. Like I said, I like the Ostas, the fast feeds, the best. And I'm finna get ready to give me a smaller blade for my Masters, and this Masters. Get a smaller blade with the ceramic top on it, so I can, get to cutting with those. They're good clippers too, real powerful. It's just the fast feeds I prefer. Cleaning it up, making sure everything looks nice and even. And that clip you see, I got that off Amazon too. It's called No Turn. The little arm strap that I keep my guards on. And right here, I got my fast feeds closed, getting rid of that ball line. And like I said, with those 5-0s, Ostas, it makes it easier for the line to disappear. You won't have to work so hard to get that bottom line out. And I just open up with the fast feeds, and then I put my guard on, my one guard. No, that's not my one guard, that's my half. And I'm just going out, and it's not gonna completely knock that line out, but it's gonna soften it up. It's gonna soften it up. I got my half guard on, and see, I have my half guard on, and then I'm standing on that one side. Once I make my levels, I'm standing on that one side. I go back to with the fast feeds open, no guard, and I'm knocking out that line. And then I put it back on, and I open up my guard, and I put my one guard on to knock that top line out at the top, right there. That's what I'm doing. And I'm just going up into it. I'm pushing it up into it. I'm not pushing the line up, but I'm pushing it up and I'm flicking at the top. I'm flicking. And then I go back and I'll brush it down. Brush it down. That's all it is. It's like a brush with that cuts hair. So I go back and I soften it up and I push it down. And I just go back and forth. And I play with it until it looks how I want it. As you can see, I went in first with it open, like a brush down, and then I closed them back up and I went down. Just open them back up because I know I'm finna go into the top a little bit. I don't want to knock too much off the top, but I do want to blend it. As you can see, it's getting better. And you just go back and forth. You do that back and forth. And it doesn't take much. Your first round, you're not going to get it perfect. So you want to limit your time to one side. You want to make sure you go around the head and do exactly what you need to do to, not keep your client in the chair too long, but get a great cut. And all I'm doing right here, I'm going over the same thing that I just did. It's nothing different. Same level, same technique. It's just the back of the head. Knocking out that top layer. The top layer, you gotta make sure that even if you have to go up to a 1 or 2 guard to make that top blend with the bottom, you gotta get in there. You might be nervous at first to go in there, but start off with a bigger guard, because you can always go down to a smaller guard and listen to your clippers to see if it's hitting. And wherever it's hitting, that push up to where you hear it clipping and then come back down or flick. As you can see, I'm going back down with the grain just to smooth it out. It's gonna give it a smoother look. And I'm always brushing. You gotta always brush, because as you push it up and when you brush back down, you're getting a better look at what you're working with. Like I said, don't be afraid to go into the thicker hair to blend it, because you have to. And I don't stay in one place too long. I knock the lines out and then I come back later for the details. Fast feeds close, knock out the bottom line. One guard close, knock out the top line, soften it up. I believe that's the half. I'm gonna go with the one guard next. I just changed it. Yeah, that was the half. This is the one guard. Not going too far up. I'm just pushing it up and bringing it back down. And then I hit the flicking motion. I do 1, 2, 3, push up, and then go back 1, 2, 3. I do the flicking motion. and then I go back down to soften it up, You gotta go both ways. Because if you never even it out, you never know what length that hair is to blend it. You gotta make sure you go both ways to soften it up. And as you can see, it's blending. Don't be scared to go up, just as long as you're going up and you're flicking out. Up and flicking out. This is up. That's the up version. I'm going up and I'm coming back down. Brushing. That's the going into. You'll hear it when it's cutting. Just up and bringing it back down. This is detailing. I'm detailing right now. Everything is already blended, but it's not blended in detail, so I'm going back. Right there, that's the flicking. That's the brush, what you call it, the scraping motion. It's called scraping. That's what a clawing. That's what it's called. And as you get familiar with these different techniques, you get better and better with them. You'll know when to use them and when not to use them as you go. It's just detailing. As you notice, switching to guard to no guard to, closing to opening. And it just depends on what I'm looking at and what I'm trying to get. I'm evening up the top. Evening it up, making it all come together. And again, it's all about what you're comfortable with, the steps and how you want to go about, cutting the hair. People do it in different ways and different steps. It just all depends on, it's not a right or wrong way. It depends on how you want to cut. Evening it out. And these are my 5-0 guards on my detachable Osters Model 10s. Model 10s is what these are, detachables. 5-0s. And they're good for trimming afros or trimming the top for people who got waves or just trimming in general. It brings out the cut, all the wild hairs that sticks up, after a cut, it cuts all of those down. And it's just all around a great guard to have for the Model 10s because even if you get a temp fade, somebody has a temp fade with a fro, it cleans out that in between from the fro to the baldness, and it's great for making the cut come out cleaner. And right here I have my blackouts, my T outliners, and I just got these, and I like them. They're real sharp and powerful. They, get straight to the point. And I love them on my bald fades. I also have the walls detailers. I like those for designs. But as far as all around powerful bald, close cutting clipper, the T outliners, and it's what I like. Detailers are great too for designs. I like them for designs, or just if I can't get something straight, exactly what they name for detailers, I use the detailers. Nice and small and compact, the detailers are for the designs. to trace your designs. And then I go back with the T outliners and clean it up. And right here, I'm balling it out because I used the 5.0s, the Model 10s, the detachable blade. I used the 5.0, and then I gotta go back because it don't exactly get close as the shape up blade, but it cleans it up to where it won't have a hard time trying to clean out that bald spot. But with the T outliners, I go back after I've done all the fading, and I get even closer to make it come out cleaner. And then I go back and I close like I'm doing right now, I close my fast feeds and I knock out that line that the T outliners might bring, but it's way easier to knock the little lines out that it gives after you go back and bought it even more with the T outliners. The fast feeds can knock those little small lines out, as you can see I'm doing right now. Just knocking those small lines out. It's easier other than starting off with the T outliners and making a hard line. And right now, I've faded everything that I need to fade, but like I said, it's not detailed. And right here, you see that that's the scratching technique that I'm using. Got that from Coach D at Cold Cutters College. Shout out to Cold Cutters. And I'm using the scratching technique. And then I'm going back and using the scratching technique going downwards. And you can see the fade is coming along pretty well. I'm using all techniques. I'm pushing up, I'm scratching down and up. That's me scratching down right there. I call it a scratching, clawing, whatever you want to call it. That's what the technique is called. I'm opening and closing. As you can see, it's coming together. It's looking fresher and fresher. And I'm just looking, checking it out, glancing in the mirror also to look at the spots that I might have to go back and check. The more detailing you do, the better the fade is gonna come out. Don't be afraid to look at your work and to make sure your client leaves happy. And even if he don't notice the details, other people will, and they're gonna ask, hey, where'd you get your cut? Because they see the detail in the fade. I'm going up, so I put my one guard on to fix the details. And I'm going back. I'm doing the same techniques, but it's all at once. I'm clawing upwards, I'm clawing downwards. Put my guards on, clawing upwards, clawing downwards. And right here, I'm lining it up with the T outliners. I feel like I done enough details to where I can go ahead and hit the line now. And once you line it up, more details come out that you might have missed or that you couldn't see. Because once you line it up, once you trim it up, it magically or just brings out the fade even more, and where you can see where you might have to go back, even right at the bottom where you line it up on the sides, you might have to blend that up a little bit more just to make it look smooth when they're looking in the mirror on the sides, or when other people are looking at a haircut from the side. It shows that you really took your time and blended it up. Just lining everything up and making sure that both sides are curving evenly. And on the sides right here, the sides can get tricky because you want to make sure that you're not going too far back, that you're giving them the natural lining that they have. And as you can see right here, that's his natural lining, not with not going too far back. And at the same time, you want to make sure that the person is lined up correctly, because most people, they say, don't take me back too far, but they want the lining to look nice. You got to learn the in-between. And once you learn the in between, that's the difference of keeping the client and losing the client. Again, on the sides, not taking them back too far, but giving him his natural lining without going too far back. And lining up is really just repetition. The more you line up, the better you get at it. And like I said, it's not going beyond that natural lining, but it's getting those wild hairs that's coming beyond your line. It's just tapping. It's tapping. It's not going back. Don't take hair back. Don't take hair off. Just get those wild hairs that's sitting. And as you play with it and turn your clippers upwards, downwards, or whatever the angle you got to get, the better it's going to get. And you're just tapping at the line, tapping at the line. You're not pushing it back. You're tapping at the line. And as you're cleaning the area below the line, when you're pushing up, be careful, because you don't want to push them back. You just want to get that area clean down below and make sure there's no hairs below the lining that you're trying to make. The cleaner, the better. So right here, I'm looking in the mirror, because when you look in the mirror, you see stuff that you can't naturally see with your regular eye. I don't know why, but that's how it goes. Right here, I'm just getting the details. And in between the points in the middle of the head, right where I'm at right now, you have to get those even. You got to get that area even. Make it curve the same as the left. They both got to be congruent. And that's what I'm working on right now. Making those parts even. Like I said, I'm not pushing back. I'm just tapping. I'm tapping. It's all about the tapping, because if you just tap and you fix, you're not going to take them that far back. You're going to give them that nice natural line, and you're not making them a line. You're defining their natural line. Take your time. Don't rush, but just look. Take a look in the mirror. Just look. And the more you do this, the better, of course. Definitely with the corner. You just want to tap. You want to brush and tap, because as you brush, you're bringing the hair that might come over when they leave, or when they put the rag on the head. If they do put a rag on, you're getting the hairs that hang over when they leave, and you want to make sure you get all of them, so they can't say that you left them with a half-done line. Just detailing, taking my time. I'm not in a rush. I'm taking my time. And as you can see, the lining really brought out everything. I'm going back and I'm detailing again. You can never do too much detailing if you go through your process and you make sure that you're hitting everything. Like I said, I'm flicking just like if I had my fast feeds in my hand. I'm not trying to make another line. I'm just making sure those hard lines that may still be in is out. I'll use my whole blade, and then I might turn and use my the ends. It depends on where I'm at. Definitely depends on where I'm at. And as you can see, those T-outliners got it pretty bald. And I go back and I close my fast feeds. You never can do too much detailing, never. I got them closed. And right there where I just was at, right there at the bottom of the, coming down from the point, you want to make sure you got those even, because that's the first thing a person looks at when they turn for a fade. They look at the points. So you got them even right there on the sides of the 2 points at the bottom. And right now it's looking pretty good. I'm just going back and detailing. Right there where I was just at. You want to make sure you got that area nice and clean. Looking in the mirror, making sure everything is even. Go back up if if you see any dark spots, and I seen dark spots up there, so I go back up. I hit them, and then I turn them back around. Then I hit it again. You just want to take your time, cause your client wants to look as best as possible. Even if they're in a rush or something, they came to the barbershop for a reason. Is to get fresh, and that's what they're here for. So that's what you gotta give them. Just because they're in a rush don't mean you have to be in a rush. You're there to do your best job. Just going back and detailing. Looking in the mirror. Everything comes together, everything looks good, but as you go along and as you cut other people's hair and you film and then you go look back, you're like, man, I could have done that better. I could have done this better. Right now, I'm taking advantage of that feeling that I felt when I go back and I'm like, man, I could have done this better. If I could have just kept them in the chair detail a little bit longer. I'm thinking about that, and right now I'm going back and I'm doing something that I wish I would have done in other videos as I go back. And this, I can honestly say, I don't feel like I could have went back. I feel like I done my best job as possible. As you can see, the fade is very clean, and I'm still going back to making sure that my client is, A1, is crispy. And going back with the razor is even more bring the details out as far as the lining goes. The crispier the lining, the more you see in the fade, the more you see in the all-around haircut. And that's what I'm doing. Even as I'm doing the razor, I'm still looking at the fade in the mirror. Being nice and light with that razor, just going right on the line, pulling the skin, getting those hairs that's beyond the lining, and that's what's gonna make your lineup look cleaner. Taking my time. And with the razor, it's all about your pattern. Everything is all about strokes, your stroke patterns. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. It's all about patterns. You don't want to stay in the same spot a long time. 1, 2, 3. You might go a little bit more, but you know your pattern. 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's just all about patterns. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1. As you see, I went 1, 2, but I went back and I did 1, 1. It'll come naturally. You just want to make sure that you got a rhythm going. Like I said, you'll hit the line up with the razor, but also you can go back and hit it with the clippers, because as you hit it with the razor, hair will fall over the front and it'll make you see more. And the more you detail it, the less the client will see the next day that you missed. You don't want to push back. You just want to tap the line. Don't go beyond the line. You might have to hover, depending on what type of hair texture you got. Some hair hovers over the top of the line. You can't get it just by hitting the line, but you got to glide right over it and then tap, 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 tap. Making sure you're not going back, but stand on that natural lining. Natural lining. Going back, and like I said, right there where the edge is at, man, the cleaner the better. I'm going back with the razor and I'm knocking the sides knocking the baldness down even more right above the ear too. Is hair that hides right there where the ear at. Be careful where the ear is. That's a sensitive area. Don't go too far, but pull the skin, stretch the skin to where it'll come out, and it'll keep everything clean. And I'm satisfied with, not satisfied. I like the way this fade came out, making it even more closer, clean, to where the fade'll stay, a day or two longer, getting close like this. And when I feel like I'm done, I'm gonna turn them. I'm a 360 and I'm gonna look in the mirror. I'm looking. Like I said, I'm taking my time, making sure everything looks good, observing my work, and I like it. So guess what? I'm gonna give him the mirror and I'm gonna make sure that he likes it. I have no problem with my clients checking out themselves. It's fine. Obviously he likes it, so I think I have a satisfied customer here. Take the cape off. I always make sure I clean up behind their neck, cause the cape is on, and depending on the how high the cape up, or however the hair grows on the back of somebody's neck, depending on how much hair is still gonna be there. And I just use that time to detail it, go back and make sure they clean all the way down to the shirt collar. I like to pat around the lining. Even though I brush and make sure there's no hairs, I just pat. I want them to leave fresh. I don't want them to get back in the car and it looks like they have a little bit more hair on them, on the lining that I could have got.